So there are two theories about where ideas come from. The first one is that the artist or creator is like an antenna. Picasso here was walking down the street, and he saw the bicycle seat, and he saw the bicycle handlebars, and bam, the idea sort of has him. It's a very lovely idea. The second idea is the artist is a worker. So Somerset Maugham here said, I write only when inspired, but fortunately, inspiration shows up every morning at 9 a.m. This second view is the one that I take. And Picasso took this view as well. He said that inspiration exists, but it has to find us working. So for the purposes of our exploration, I'm going to say that it's work, because the other way we have no control. So if what you hope to get out of a discussion on this subject is how to have more good ideas, my suggestion to you is to have more bad ideas. Babe Ruth, one of the greatest hitters in the history of baseball, only hit a home run 8% of the time he got up to bat. That's a very interesting number, because we like to think of someone as doing something great every time they do it. But what if 92% of the ideas that we have when we're trying to solve a problem just suck? I mean, it's a scary thought. But let's test this out. I mean, let's pick a really smart person. Let's say Newton. So he invented calculus, which is the language that describes the modern world. The law, discovered the law of gravity, defined a theory of light and color, but he really spent the majority of his time trying to change lead into gold and debating minor theological points. When you get right down to it, I think we are all of us, bears a very, very little brain. The question is not how can we be smart enough to solve everything. The question is how can we use the skills we have to their maximum advantage. Now, when you were young and you learned how to walk, you fell down a lot. What you didn't do is you didn't let it dissuade you. You didn't get emotionally attached to the fact that you had messed up. You weren't nervous, as speakers are in front of a room full of people, about messing up. You just sort of took it as oh, that didn't work. You got up and you tried again. Now, I know this because if you didn't do this, you never would have learned how to walk. So the point here is not do not buy a power chair. Do not buy a power chair. The point here is do not attach to failure, or do not attach to something that doesn't work. Miles Davis said, do not fear mistakes, for there are none. And the more that I work creatively, the more I understand this as practical advice. It's not the words from a genius on high. This is what you have to do to keep generating ideas. And the reason you have to do this is because of the fear. And this is my fear. This is my canvas. And whatever your canvas is, when it's blank, all you see are mistakes. Could be a blinking cursor, could be a page. This is because when you try and come up with an idea, you're going to a place that doesn't exist in reality. You're trying to create something that is new to you, or perhaps even the slightest tiny little bit new to the world. It's the unknown. And that's why everyone, when they're faced with a blank page, feels like a hack. Everybody, professionals. Another way to say this is Orville Wright did not have a pilot's license. I mean, it's obvious and it's right, but we have trouble with things that don't have structure. And if you're really solving a problem, you're trying to come up with something that doesn't exist. So in this sense, ideation isn't a technical problem. It isn't a psychological problem. It's a spiritual problem. Not a Hosanna, Hosanna spiritual problem, but a problem of how do I keep my spirits up? How do I have faith that if I keep working, I will solve the problem? And this is the wall. And everyone who's seriously tried to solve a problem has hit the wall. We've all hit the wall. It's a very human experience. You come up with as many ideas as you can, and none of them seem to work, and you get to a point where you just can't go any farther. This is because the conscious brain can't get past the wall. Something else has to happen. So you have to put it down. You have to let it shift to your subconscious. You have to give up. You have to think about something else. You have to completely rinse your brain. You could go for a walk. You could get drunk. You could give a talk at Ignite, because this is occupying all my consciousness right now. But whatever it is, you lay the problem down, and it moves to the subconscious. I call it the rock polisher. So the rock tumbles and tumbles, all the raw input tumbles and tumbles, and it gives your brain a chance to reconfigure the neurons, and then suddenly, when you least expect it, you have this eureka moment, and your bright diamond of an idea pops out. It's just there like magic. And sometimes it's not the idea that you were looking for. Sometimes you fall down. And the most important thing to do is not to attach to the fact that it's Neil Diamond when you were looking for a real diamond. So I don't think we're smart enough to understand the process of ideation intellectually. But my best answer for it is a quote from St. Francis of Assisi. There are beautiful, wild forces within us. Let them turn the mills inside and fill sacks that feed even heaven. Thank you.
Great job.